All right. Hello, everybody. Hope you are well tonight. Just going to get started here. A couple little housekeeping things. And we will get started. Hey, Allie. Good to see you. Tony, Chip, Steve, Derek. Thanks for joining, everyone. Let me know if I sound okay. I think I should be okay. I'm not sure. Okay. Thanks, Allie. Get my mute set up. I will need it. Okay. If anyone's interested in joining Backchat on voice, I'm going to not have open like Zoom or anything, but if you would like to get on Discord, go to Big Daddy Linux to the Discord server. And if you go down, I am in the live right now Discord channel. So feel free to come in there and join me and take part in the stream. And with that, I'll go ahead and get started. So what I wanted to cover tonight was, this week is the Solus 4.1 Fortitude challenge on Big Daddy Linux. So we are taking a look at the 4.1 release of Solus. Just came out, I believe, yesterday, maybe the day before. And what we have is the base of Solus being updated to 4.1, along with 4 different releases for desktop environments. So we have XFC, we have Budgie, GNOME, Plasma, and Mate. And so I have those downloaded and installed in virtual machines. We'll take a look at each of those desktops, as well as the release announcement. And then I wanted to talk about Endeavour and my Cinnamon desktop on Endeavour and how that's been going. And then finish up with Manjaro's KDE 19.0 previews of GNOME and KDE Plasma. So that's the plan. And like I said, if folks want to jump in on Discord, feel free. And you can join the conversation. If not, obviously you can hang out and chat. And
yeah, I decided to join.
Hey, how's it going, Ali?
I'm doing well, Eric. Hope you're well.
I am, sir. I am. All right. Adam asks if this is Chris Titus Tech. Nope. Sorry. You get the poor man's version tonight. Get the poor man's version. Hey, Lemler. Nice to see you, Donnie. Thanks for joining, everyone. Bob the Hopper. Hello, hello. All right. Well, I'm going to jump in with Solus. Just take a look at the website, the release information, and then we'll look at the desktops, see where it goes from there.
I had a few hiccups with Solus, but I got them taken care of on my end.
Oh, good, Derek. That's good to hear that. It's nice that I know everybody's voice now and I don't have to look. All right. So let's take a look here at the Solus website, which I have to say they've done a very nice job on their website. It's very clean and inviting. So, you know, can't put enough emphasis on that first impression, and they've done a really nice job with, you know, here you go, learn more and download. If you want to know more, you can scroll down through some nice clean layout, easy to follow. But we want to look at the blog and the release announcement. And so they're showing 4 different screenshots here of the different releases. This is GNOME. No, this is GNOME. This is Budgie. This is Mate, and this is Plasma. And so all 4 of them inherit certain general characteristics just of the base distro itself. So Firefox 72, LibreOffice 6.3.4.2, Thunderbird. Each desktop environment has slightly different applications for multimedia, which would make sense based on, the different desktop environments. So Rhythmbox for Budgie, GNOME, and Mate, MPV, VLC. So, and actually, let me step back just a second. So, the purpose, so this is actually kind of interesting and refreshing in a way. They very clearly state that this is designed for home computing, desktop computing. So when you look at other distros, they have multiple focuses, right? They're trying to do, Ubuntu's got server stuff, they've got desktop stuff, they've got all the different flavors, and they don't necessarily position it in such a concise way. And so Solus isn't based on anything else. It's its own distro. They compile their own source code and build their own distro. And the packages that they provide and the pre-installed desktop environments, it's all focused on home computing. And some of the benefits that I've seen personally are optimization and just general speed, an overall like sort of lightness where you feel like they've obviously taken the time to look at how a desktop user is going to be using their system. And so it's just a very focused and fast experience. Hardware and kernel enablement, they've got the 5.4.12 kernel. They made a point to mention that for newer AMD Radeon cards, AMD Ryzen processors, Comet Lake, and newer NVIDIA GPUs. So hardware enablement can be a challenge on some distros, depending on the age and the release cadence of the distro. And so something that they've done here in this release and something that they generally do is committing to supporting newer hardware. And so for a lot of people, that's a very, especially people with newer hardware, that's an advantage because they should have a good experience on Solus with newer hardware. Z standard, this is a compression algorithm or compression method that they're using for their Squash FS images. When you install this, you'll probably notice how fast it is to install. And, a lot of installers, they get to 20% and they kind of sit and wait for that decompression, uncompressing the files to happen. And this is, they're saying 3 to 4 times faster. I can say that even in a virtual machine, it was remarkably fast. And I can imagine, I haven't tried this on hardware yet, but I can imagine on hardware it is even more incredibly fast. Derek, were you doing a hardware install or was it just virtual machine?
I did a virtual machine first, and then I installed it on bare metal. It was when I got it on bare metal that I had a little bit of trouble with the EFI, but I just had to add a EFI on my BIOS and good to go.
Cool.
Gotcha. Did you happen to notice if the installer seemed particularly quick to you, or?
Oh, as fast as can be. I never seen something that quickly.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Well, hey, looks like they found a better way to do that. And of course, you're only installing technically once, unless you're a hopper. But it's still nice to have that quick install experience, so that's great. Multimedia upgrades, so the newest FFmpeg, GStreamer, VAPI, Cineform. So again, keeping with all of the focus on desktop performance, being up to date. System D. I'm kind of glossing over some of this just because I don't think I need to go into excruciating detail, but suffice to say they've changed quite a lot here in 4.1. And so if we look at specifically the desktop environments themselves, so looking at Budgie, which I happen to have running here,
I thought it was Discorder, but yeah, sounded a bit like a Dalek.
I do?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Is that how it sounds in the stream? I haven't looked back at the chat for a while.
Repeat after me. Exterminate.
Strange enough, I did watch Doctor Who earlier.
Oh my goodness. Well, any better or? Okay.
That's just weird. It was perfect a second ago, didn't it? As for the Z standard, yeah, I've been using that for the last year for compression on the ISOs. The installer just goes really fast. As for the 4 minutes, right, and you're done. It's brilliant. It doesn't compress as much as the old XZ. But for the slight overhead you are getting for the ISO, the slightly larger ISO, the improvement in install time is amazing.
Can you that's okay. That's okay. Does that sound any better? Or? Okay. I'll take it. All right. So I'll step back to chat just real quick. Peter, good to see you. Token. Lots of people joining. I appreciate that. Oh, now I have an echo. Oh, that's even better. I see it. Yeah, I see it. Streaming computers. Yes, they are. Okay, well, talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Oh, so you're not hearing the echo, but you can still hear me. It's, you know what, it's OBS. OBS has a hard time with, what I did was mute my, I'll switch back so you guys can see. So I muted my microphone, but somehow I'm looping back through the desktop audio. So you know what? I'll take it. It's fine. I don't care. Let's just go with that. Okay. All right. So I wanted to jump in and start looking at the desktops, Budgie specifically here. So looks like we've got 10.5.1 on Budgie. One of the interesting things to me, so this is almost like using Cinnamon on Mint, right? They're the ones that develop the desktop, so it's, you know, it's their system, and their default layout is a sort of familiar or standard layout, right? You've got the bar at the bottom and the, you know, tray, and then the Raven panel. So when you look at something like Ubuntu Budgie, they've changed that all around. The panels at the top, there's a dock at the bottom, and so it's very a different look and feel, almost more like a Mac, or, you know, however they name them without naming them. So it's interesting to me to see that this is the way that they do it on their desktop. But if we look down through, Budgie menu, artifacting is now fixed. It sounds like some of this is bug fixing. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to read this all out loud, but it looks like as I read down through here, a lot of this is just bug fixing, small tweaks, persistent workspaces, instant auto raise. Yeah, so I'm not seeing anything really fundamentally different here in the Budgie desktop. So if we just take a look at what we've got going on here, if you haven't used Budgie, it is based on GNOME, so it's using a lot of the GNOME backend, and then they've changed obviously some front end things on that. still including Nautilus as the file manager. And so there's a lot of GNOME stuff in here, right? The calculator is going to be GNOME calculator, calendar will be GNOME calendar. So it's very much like the GNOME GTK experience, but with obviously with a taskbar, with a menu, and then one of the what I think is cool features about Budgie is this flyout Raven panel, which gives you some quick controls. So it'll show. It's almost like rather than a pop-up tray, it's a pop-out tray in a lot of ways, where you can stack some applets in here, and then also any notifications would show up here as well. The theming, you can see they have, I think it's Posilo or no, that's actually, let me see what their theme is, because I'm thinking of Ubuntu Budgie as Pokilo or Posilo. I'm not sure how you say that. And I guess if you think about this in a lot of ways, their desktop settings is kind of like GNOME tweaks in a way, or at least it's adding back the things that if you're on GNOME, like what you would get using GNOME tweaks. So you've got access to your style, and it's Plata is the theme, and this is the Noir, so it's the black one. But they also have a Lumina, and that's going to be your light theme, which is what I would use because I like light themes. I know nobody else does, but I do. Papyrus icons, breeze cursor. You can set your notification position, desktop style, whether you have icons or not, which ones to show. So yeah, it's kind of like, and I hate to say it this way because I'm not trying to take away from what they're doing here, because it is not that, but it's almost like running GNOME with extensions and then being able to configure them. Instead of having to do that piecemeal, they've built all that in here into their control panel. And yeah, you can set all of these things here. I always turn on this power strip in the side panel because that gives you the quick controls for logging out, rebooting, locking. Not sure why that's not on by default. It seems like one of those things that is just handy to have there. And then this is also where you set all of your panel stuff as well. So again, this is more or less just an overview of Budgie if you haven't seen it. But it's all the sort of goodness of GNOME and GTK, but then sort of bringing back your tray icons, bringing back a taskbar, a menu, settings to control a lot of the stuff that GNOME doesn't have. And Budgie's actually, it's a really nice desktop. I've used it on Ubuntu Budgie probably more than Solus, but it works perfectly fine. I mean, it's a very nice, clean experience. Ali or Derek, do you guys use Budgie at all, or have you? Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And it is. It's kind of like, it's not a radically different experience. Yeah. And like I said, it's interesting, always interesting to me to see what the people who are developing it, like what their impression, what their kind of take on it, this is how they're building it. And so, yeah, it's a nice desktop. If you haven't tried it, it's definitely worth taking a look. So Mitchell, good to see you. Dan, Rocco's in the house. Hey, Rocco, how you doing? Rose, hello. I'm in the Rocco's Big Daddy Linux Discord server. If anyone wants to join the voice chat, we are in the live right now 0 channel. If you scroll down a little bit, feel free to jump in on voice chat if you'd like to participate. You know you want to. Come say hi. Exactly. There he is. Hey, Rocco. How you doing, brother? You know, this Solus thing, I figured I'd take a look. Why not? Hey, now. Yeah, that guy. Oh, my. All right, so I'm venturing to guess that GNOME's just going to be some customizations with extensions and then the theming, which would be, yeah, a couple fixes here. Dash to dock, drive menu, impatience for faster animations, and top icons for tray support. So just like with Ubuntu, you see this downstream of GNOME itself. Some distributions will kind of add back the missing pieces. Missing is an opinion, of course, but it's when a distro does this, Ubuntu does this, some others do it, Manjaro, stuff like that. Oh, of course. Oh, streaming. I love streaming. It's so much fun. Almost silent. Okay, well, let me see if I maybe just turn it up a little. Got a couple filters too. Let me turn off. All right. One of you guys talk. See if they can hear you. No, you're really quiet. Here, let me turn it up. Try now. Nope. Nope. Oh, Discord. Oh, there it is. Haha. Try now. No. Now they're gonna get. Oh, I love streaming. For half a second, yeah, I just turned on my mic. And now they're saying there's buffering. I love stream. Oh, really? Hey, Lamer. Tell you what, I'm going to just stop the stream for a second and kill OBS and come right back in. So hang in there, guys. Stay on. It'll pick back up whenever I start streaming again.
And mix might be one of them.
Does Solus use a grub menu or no? Or they just boot
System deboot.
I got you.
I see.
Okay, this should be working again. And you should be able to hear people in Discord as well. And if not, we're going after OBS.
Hey, there he is.
Hey, Dan.
I'm just waiting for the
Hey, Dan.
Okay, Tony says
stream
all
to come
good
back.
now. Let's just not touch anything ever again. And
Never.
Never ever touch.
Leave
There
that
we go.
stream up all day long.
I do one of Valley's live streams, 5 hours, so I'll do it.
all right. So we're gonna jump into GNOME. See how that looks. How you doing tonight, Dan?
I'm right here on Solus watching you.
Oh yeah.
And boy, did I have to fight with it.
Oh yeah. EFI stuff or
Well, it turns out when you go through the installer and you want to actually use existing partitions, like if you have a home partition you want to save, you can't do it. The advanced disk configuration section of the installer does not work at all.
Oh, interesting.
That's good to know.
At least for me. I mean, I played with it for a good part of the afternoon and I got frustrated and I'm like, I could have reinstalled all this junk by now. Because I got so used to with the Ubuntu distros, all I did was I had a partition for the system and a partition for the EFI, just cleaned those out and put the next Ubuntu in, and I could reuse everything in my home directory.
Well, that's unfortunate. Which version did you try, Dan?
I'm on the Budgie.
Oh, okay. Well, for some reason, GNOME does not want to boot. And I don't know why. Try switching the graphics adapter.
Now, assuming with you, Derek, you went and used the other function to install on the whole disk, and then it gave you the option after that to use the remaining part of your disk.
No, it gave me three options. Option one was to install alongside. Option two was to completely install on the whole disk. And then the third one was advanced.
Yeah, see, it never gave me any of those options, even with the direct rush install.
Wow, didn't like that. Okay. Well, we're going to do it in a little tiny window just because. And really, really, there's not a lot, not a lot to see. And that's not to belittle the distro. It's GNOME. It's got the same Plata theme.
Can you scaled? Right Control C.
Yeah.
Make it zoom it a bit. Make it easy for the folks on the old stream.
It doesn't seem like it wants to cooperate with me anyway. So.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, well. Hey, there's a screenshot. Yeah, so, I mean, really what you've got here, like they said, they've got dash to dock for your dock on the left-hand side. They've got impatience, so the animations are faster when you're launching things and opening the applications overview. And then top icons for system tray icon support. It's going to look a lot like Budgie did in terms of it's still using Nautilus, the same theme, the same applications. So you saw me show Nautilus and calendar and all of that. So really not very different. So let's take a look at Mate.
Mate and meatballs.
Okay. So we've got the 1.2.2 series, which has a bunch of bug fixes and under the hood improvements. I'm not a user of Mate usually, so I'm guessing 1.2.2 is maybe what's on 19.10, but maybe what's on 20.04. I'm not sure, but it's certainly going to be recent. And they talk about, and a lot of this is just Mate itself specifically, so not really necessarily all that much to do with Solus directly. And so let's see if this will cooperate with me. While that's working or not, let's see. Oh yeah, it did work. Cheesy Man, you think 1.2.2 is in 19.10? Yeah, that was my sense, was that it was probably I would guess that with 20.04, if there are any updates to Mate, it's going to make its way into there. All right, let's take a look here. So this is very different, obviously, from the implementation of Mate on just Ubuntu Mate itself. And even so, I can think of Mint, Linux Mint has a Mate version. and then even just the standard Mate you'd get by installing from Arch, something like that. So they've done some customization and made the bar on the bottom. And I guess this is their menu as well, if I had to take a guess. Now, I noticed that Tweaks was in here.
You get Mate Tweaks?
Yeah, you do, but I didn't see the layouts option like you see in Ubuntu Mate.
Yeah, you get Redmond and a bunch of others. It's the middle one.
The panel? Yeah, I don't see
panel.
it. Oh, there it is. Solus, Fedora, GNOME, Opensuse. Got it. Okay. So the Solus layout then is this thin bar at the bottom. It's nice. It's elegant. I wouldn't have any complaints about that. And of course, you're going to get Kaha as your file manager. Yep. And the Mate versions of the GTK apps. So your calculator, I have the Mate instead of I have the GNOME. LibreOffice. Yeah. And actually, you know, funny enough, I have to say that I just have an initial reaction when I open up Ubuntu Mate. That old GNOME 2 layout just always throws me for a loop. I used it for years on Ubuntu, but it just, now when I look at it, it's almost like I can't go back in a lot of ways. And so when I see it, it just kind of throws me off. And then even whenever I use the different panel layouts, I can't quite ever get it to look the way I want. Whereas I have to say that they've done a really nice job here of changing the fonts, the theming, and this is maybe one of the cleanest from my perspective, implementations of the Mate, you know, sort of layout and theming. It's very nice. Actually, go ahead.
Yeah, Ubuntu version gives me the feeling it looks more like a 57 Chevy because it's all curvy and everything.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people, obviously, when GNOME 3 came out, a lot of people sort of were taken back by that because it was so radically different. And really, if you got used to using your computer using that that GNOME 2 layout with the multiple menus, the bar at the top, bar at the bottom. I mean, I remember it well. I used it for years. So you definitely there was a workflow with that, you know, your Windows stuff and then your tray. And it separated everything into different pieces on the screen. And I think a lot of people spatially got used to that. Like this thing's over here, that thing's over there. And so GNOME 3 taking all that away was very shocking. Didn't help that it was pretty buggy as well. But like I said, this is really nice. So we can do for settings here to change to the lighter theme to blind everybody. Let's see. Oh, so they've got a custom. This theme will not look as intended because the required window manager theme Plateau Noir is not installed. That can't be right. Right? That doesn't sound right. No, it's right there. Okay. That's a confusing error message. I don't understand what that means. Yeah.
Those look like the Mate defaults.
Yeah. Ah, nice and bright. Feel the burn, baby. I love it. Yeah. This is, I have to say, I'm really interested by this. Now, see, it switched back to those icons that I'm not a huge fan of. Let's see. Maybe they just look different on here. I don't know. Oh my. I did something wrong. Yeah, see, this is, I don't really like those icons very much. Which ones were they using? Papyrus.
Very hard.
Yeah, they must have been using Papyrus, right? There we go. Oh, and it changed the font as well. See, this shows you how little I know about Mate. I don't remember any of this.
Usually with Mate, it'll allow you to install what's called GNOME colors, and that's a whole different icon pack with a huge variety of color choice.
Okay. All right. Well, the theming aside, I'm not going to get down that rabbit hole. This looks to be a very complete Mate desktop. It has, all of the applications you'd expect. And so if you're a fan of Mate, I would have to guess that this is probably something you'd be interested in. I have one small complaint, and this could just be me again with the contrast. A light colored background underneath white text, that always bugs me. So I'd have to change this wallpaper to something else.
Yep.
Yeah, I changed mine to the darker blue with the Solus in the middle.
But other than
Or
that,
you could just get rid of desktop icons altogether.
That's true. Yeah. And I don't use desktop icons very much, so I could do that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so that menu is the brisk menu. Okay. And that was a very nice menu. I like the look of that menu. Dash style menu. Prioritize favorites. Yeah, that's great.
I've been wondering how to get the elementary style menu on Budgie.
It can be done. I think Michael in the Telegram group did.
All right, let's see what folks are doing. Cheesy man, my eyes. Yeah, I tell you what, there's something about dark themes that make my eyes go crazy. I really can't look at a dark theme. I get like ghosting. If I'm reading the text and then I look away, I get that smear effect. It's really weird. And I know I'm in the minority on that, but oh well. All right, here we go. I think this is what everybody seemed to be really interested in, was the Plasma implementation here. And it is darn pretty, I gotta say. It's a lovely wallpaper, so nice first impression. And then it is 5.17.5, which is the last release of the 17 series, and they're working on 18 right now.
Yeah, so I finally get the boot screen.
Yay.
And Solus is sitting there on the examining your disk page and just sitting there.
You mean like literally just, what is it like? What's the message it's giving you?
It says examining local storage devices, and it's been sitting there for the last 5 minutes.
This is part of the boot messages?
No, I actually got the boot loader or the boot menu so I could get in for the first time in a while. And I boot into it, and I get this hanging.
That's not good. So, let's see. Donnie had asked about check system resources. So the memory, 413 U's. We'll keep check it again. 411. So right around 400. Plasma, it's definitely lightweight in terms of the memory usage, but I would say that it's probably still a little heavier than something like XFCE. Just because I think there's a lot of compositing and other stuff that happens. So in terms of snappiness and responsiveness, I'm not sure if you were on a hardware that you were very concerned. Like, let's say you had 2 gigs of memory on a slim laptop or a low powered system. I mean, you'd probably still have a slightly better experience with Mate or XFCE than you would with Plasma. But I don't have a machine to really test that theory. It's just it's anecdotal what I've heard other people say. We focus a lot on the memory specifically, but I think it goes a little beyond just the memory. But that's not bad for a full fat. I mean, just Plasma has everything in it, right? And the kitchen sink, and so to run for it itself to be using such a small amount of memories is a good thing. So let's see if they call out anything specific here in terms of their Plasma implementation. Solus dark theme. Changed a couple widget layouts, shortened the timeout for logout to 10 seconds. And then some specific stuff for them. Single click enabled by default. What? That can't be right.
You know it.
Is that right? That can't be right.
That is right. Good choice. Good choice.
Oh no, that's terrible news.
I like it already.
Wow. Fortunately, I know where that setting is.
How can you not like it? You have a folder, you click on it, you go into it.
It's muscle memory. It's just one of those things.
I don't know.
I will. But I'll tell you what. I'm not a fan of dark themes, but I do like this implementation. It's very pretty. Let me see. So they say it's a custom theme.
Yeah, it's definitely a little darker than Breeze Dark on the edges and stuff.
Yeah. Does Breeze Dark have that little blue inlay?
I don't know if it does or not.
That's kind of nice. I like that.
Single click for the win, you say?
Definitely a little screen tearing going on.
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Rocco, it's a stream. What do you want me to do?
It doesn't bother me. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
It's them pixels again.
Amateur hour.
It's the little things, dude. It's the little things.
It is. It is.
You know what? You could be an 8K screen and Rocco's box is pixelated at 400 pages, I swear.
Yeah.
This thing is still hanging up. I don't get it. I rebooted, restarted the install, and it's still hanging on examining your local storage.
So, I focused on the desktop stuff here, just looking at how things look. But it sounds like you're hearing in the background, Derek had some issues. Rocco's having some issues. I had some issues with the way it handles EFI. And they have a very sort of staunch opinion on how that should work. The correct way is that when you boot, you have to go into your boot menu and pick Solus as its individual thing, not as part of a grub loader or something like that. And I remember the last time I tried this, I was kind of, I don't know. I get that there's a way you're supposed to do it, but the reality is that all of us who are dual booting or, we kind of expect that grub's going to handle that. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about it because it's not easy. It's just annoying because I don't know. Sometimes I forget, I have to hit the F12 key to get my boot menu, and then it booted into the wrong things, and I got to reboot again. And I get that there's a right way to do something, but I guess that's more of a practical thing for me. But that's interesting. I'm curious to see from the feedback on the show this weekend if that's the experience that a lot of people had, was just that there were. It wasn't the desktops. It wasn't, Budgie or Mate or any. It was getting it installed or having other issues with it. And
in that case, would another boot EFI partition be a good idea? Because if you've already got, say, like the Ubuntu on there and Mate on, and they're all using the grub, and Solus is complaining about the EFI has to be done this way. The only way I can see through that is when you install in Solus, is to give it its own EFI partition at the beginning.
yeah, that's actually another good point. You're right, Ali. I forgot that. I did try to reuse an EFI partition, and I think I had issues with that as well, where I don't know that it overwrote it, but it did something where, I couldn't select it. That's right. It was something in the installer where I actually couldn't tell it, like, use this partition versus using, I think that's what the problem was. So you're right.
It kind of sounds like Solus just wants to be the only OS on the disk.
Yeah, it's doing a Windows thing, actually.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like Pop OS in that regard, right? They do have that assumption that it's the only distro, I guess, on the disk, or the only operating system. Well, what can you do?
You could install Solus first and install whatever you wanted afterwards. See how that would work out.
I wonder. Yeah, I guess maybe it would. But if it's on a separate
what if
EFI
you're booting Windows?
I don't know if Grub would then boot into Solus.
I don't think it would.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'd have to.
No, Ali's right. I think you'd still want to have a separate partition, and then you'd still have to switch in the boot menu, Rocco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as seamless. Well, hey, this is all valid feedback for next week, and these are the types
I don't have a big problem with them doing it that way. I'm used to Pop doing it that way. I don't have a big problem doing it that way. I just wish I could install it.
Yeah, well, there is that. The little things. Cubicle Nate. Hello, Nate. How are you? I've said it a couple times. If you didn't hear, though, we're on Discord. If you go to Big Daddy Linux Discord, down at the bottom, scroll down, there's a streaming live now channel. You'll see us in there. So, Nate, if you want to, or anyone else, feel free to jump down in there.
That's BigDaddyLinux.com/Discord.
Don't show up. We're full.
Nice.
If any of you went to get a flat pack yet?
I have not, but if you go to FlatHub, it does actually just give you their quick start thing. I'm pretty sure it does have Solus listed there. Let me see.
If you do everything in the text for the Solus and reboot, it still don't work like it does in Ubuntu when you want to install a package. Yeah, done that 100 times.
Note: graphical installation of Flatpak apps may not be possible with Solus. Huh.
What you got to do is hunt for the package you want in the Flatpak software repository. When you find it, you click on install and you'll get a little downloaded package. And if you copy and paste the name of that in Flatpak install and that name in the terminal, it'll go get it for you.
Yeah, and I usually do Flatpak from the command line just because, but I thought Chicken last night, or Schickle, what's his name? That guy. Last night said that Flatpak was there by default, or am I thinking the wrong thing?
It is in there. It's just that it don't know what to do if you type Flatpak install in your package name.
Yeah, you have to add the repo.
No, it says it doesn't have a reference or a remote.
Yeah, so you have to add the repo. There's a stage missing.
The repo that they give you here on the screen that he's showing you does not work.
Well, let's take a look then.
Good evening, all.
Hey, good
Mr.
evening.
Steve. How's it
Plasma installed.
Plasma installed, excellent.
Got your daily plasma, huh?
going? All right, so Flatpak's not there. If I do a Flatpak search, let's say pulse effects, no matches found. Yeah, the repo's not there. So Flatpak list remotes, I think it is. Maybe just remotes.
What do remotes add if not exist flat open and then you do
Remote
the
LS. No.
URL and that isn't working?
Okay. So yeah, looks like they have Flatpak installed, but not the repo. Not the FlatHub
Are you-
repo.
Yes. So what happens if you do Flatpak remote add?
Now that's interesting because that's
Remote
exactly. Well,
If
sorry.
not exist flat open.
Well, I'm lazy, so I'm going to copy and paste it from somewhere. But that's interesting because that's what Elementary does as well, right? They have Flatpak installed, but they don't have the repo set up. Right? Isn't that how that worked?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there's all
that's what I'm thinking.
Copy and paste from the FlatHub website.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I just
Yeah.
picked on the Ubuntu one because it was the first one I clicked on, but
Plus, they have the side loader now.
Okay. Well, let's
Okay,
see.
why do they have tap to click enabled on live, but then in installed you have to go set it up
Which desktop's that?
on KDE Plasma? Why does
Hmm.
Plasma do that?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I just Plasma what?
Somebody's gonna have to answer for that.
Yes, tap to click.
Okay.
Tap to click works.
Yeah, when you activate it,
Oh, right, I see.
but it was working on live through the whole installation, and then you get into the installed version, and you gotta go and
Yeah, there you go, Ali. You're absolutely right. Now it works fine. So interesting. Okay, they have Flatpak installed, but they don't have the FlatHub repository. And I wonder if that was a conscious choice or just something that slipped through the cracks.
Well, did you get the repository
Dude.
installed?
I did. Yeah, and then I did a search and it found results, so that means it's finding it.
And pulse
I don't
effects,
know if it
which is a
shows
good
up-
program.
Oh. Yeah, absolute necessity. Yeah, you know, and that's funny because I did search for something and couldn't find it, and it was a Flatpak thing, and I figured, is that because they've got their third party, but that's not Flatpak. Well, let's see what if it comes with. Is there a way to tell in here where this is coming from, though? Because they may have that in their repo. Oh my, I don't know. You know what? I think that's a question that someone else can solve. I'm going to move on from this, but that's interesting. The Flatpak's installed, but not configured for the repo. Okay.
You tried it too, and it didn't take for you either.
Well, no, once I did I added the repo, I could search and find stuff on FlatHub, but it seemed like they don't have FlatHub. Well, they definitely don't have FlatHub configured by default. So there you go.
You have to configure it then, and then you can install what you want using Flatpak install blah blah.
Daniel, good to see you, sir. All right. Well, I'm going to leave it there. And this is the next few weeks. We're going to go through testing. We found a couple things here tonight and just took a quick look at the desktops. Hopefully that can help you decide maybe which one you want to try, if you like one in particular and want to start there. And yeah, let's go from there and see what comes in the next few weeks of testing. And so at least got that much done. Tony, thanks for joining. 3 a.m. I understand you'll stick in there for Rocco, but you know, it's all right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where
Hey,
Yeah,
man,
it's just
I call him like
2
a
a.m.
son.
in UK. Yeah, it's 2 a.m. in UK.
I'm
It'll take a
kidding. I'm
couple of
kidding.
minutes.
Thank you for joining, Tony. I appreciate it. You're always welcome. Okay, so something else I wanted to take a look at was I've been playing with Endeavor and really enjoying their net installer. It's really pretty amazing. And if you haven't seen it or had seen any information on it, what it lets you do is download a single ISO, and from there, be able to select which desktop you want to install as part of the installation process. And apparently they don't have any screenshots of that. Fortunately, I know a guy who wrote an article.
Who would that be?
I don't know. Maybe it's right here on Big Daddy Linux. Could be. Maybe.
Does his name start with Eric and end with Adams?
It does. I love that guy. He's amazing.
He does okay streams as well. It's fun.
Oh, he's awful at streaming. He's okay at other stuff.
Yeah, like stream
Yeah,
stealing.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Steve ain't gonna let that one go, dude.
That was a rare night. I don't know what. There must have been something in the air. I don't know.
You were on fire.
That light.
You and Vince were on fire. God.
Yeah, it was fun. So yeah, the installer now still gives you the option to do an offline install if you want to do their XFCE desktop, which is what you're seeing on the live disk. But you can then choose online and you get this nice list of all of the desktops. And so I'm partial to Cinnamon. And so this, to me, the way I look at this is you're getting a almost vanilla Arch install of Cinnamon with some of the additional packages they show here. This is GNOME specifically, but each desktop will be, the stock Arch desktop with some additional packages. And then this base development common packages, there's some tools that Endeavor gives you, but it's very lightweight. There's no real. So let me compare that to something like Manjaro. So Manjaro is also Arch based, but any of their desktops are highly customized. You're getting a lot of theming, a lot of different applications, a lot of changes that decisions that were made for you by someone else, which is great if you like what they did, and not so great if you feel like you have to go and undo those. In some cases, I think Manjaro nails it when it comes to that. I don't really particularly love their Cinnamon desktop. The theming, and I find myself having to undo a lot of things that I'm just not really interested in having set that way. Whereas with this, I'm getting the bone stock Arch version of Cinnamon with a desktop wallpaper. Like that's the extent of the changes. And then a couple little things, utilities, things like that. So there's this welcome screen that gives you, update your mirrors, which is great because that's something I always want to do anyway. Make sure I'm using the US mirrors for Arch. If you need to know how to use the AUR, if you need to set up NVIDIA. So that's really what Endeavor's trying to do, is give you this very clean setup with some helper scripts and tools, and then they just get out of your way. And I really like that. So I've done that with Cinnamon. Good. Someone had something? No?
Interesting. They got a deep-in version as well. That's cool.
Yeah, they've kind of got everything. All right, so this is
open box, so that sucks.
This is my Cinnamon desktop. This is hardware on my laptop. I'm just connected with GNOME machine for the remote desktop. And I always get the Mint themes and Mint icons. It's just the way that I like my desktop to look. Again, going back to like almost for Budgie, how they've got a different sort of opinion in Solus than they do in Ubuntu Budgie. To me, when I look at Cinnamon, I want it to look like Mint because that's what Cinnamon is to me in my mind. And I know I can easily theme this with Arc and any other icons and lots of different ways I could make this look. But to me, I just really like the way this looks. And it's great. Again, this is very stock Arch. So I have all of the advantages of Arch, such as getting updates 3 or 4 times a day because the NVIDIA, there was an update to the NVIDIA driver earlier, and I was like, do I really want to do that right now? I was sort of in the middle doing other stuff, so I ignored it for a few hours. But I updated, and it was fine. So, so it's been great. It's like I said, it's a very easy way to get Arch on your system. The install process is very easy, and it's convenient to be able to pick the desktop you want and end up here with whatever. With whatever you picked, again, with minimal changes based on what Endeavour's doing. The other thing that was really helpful was I found a post on the forum, and I just made a video about this yesterday, about installing this Optimus Manager Qt, which is this little tray guy here, and lets you set the way Optimus is running on your system. So in this case, I'm using BB Switch. And the advantage of that, especially on my laptop with the hybrid graphics, is that if you just use the NVIDIA driver, you have access to the Optimus technology, but it leaves the NVIDIA card running. So if you're trying to use your battery, you're going to get terrible battery life. So what this does is you still have NVIDIA, you still have the ability to switch between the profiles. This is very similar to like Prime Select on Ubuntu. But whenever you're using BB Switch and you switch to Intel, it fully powers down your NVIDIA GPU. And so now you're not getting that extra heat or power draw. And all of a sudden, I used my laptop for probably close to 3.5 hours today, which for this laptop in particular does not have a big battery. It's like a 56 watt hour battery. That's pretty good battery life for that laptop. And it wasn't dead. Like it was probably still a third left. So this unlocked using Arch, and this works on Endeavour, on Manjaro, on Arch, on Arco, anything Arch based, this is going to work on, and it works really, really well. So I don't really have much else to show here. I mean, it's Arch and Cinnamon on top of it, and all of the Arch stuff that you get that comes with it. I just wanted to go ahead.
So have you used that PCI reset function?
No, you know what, Nate? There's a bunch of stuff in there that I really haven't played with. I was a lemming and followed along someone else's post and just kind of set it up. I don't really know what many of these options do, and I haven't played around with these different options just because it worked so well right out of the box. But it is, I guess, configurable enough that you could make changes if you needed. What specifically about the PCI thing is interesting to you?
Well, frankly, sometimes there can be a misbehaving device, and rather than go through the terminal, and I've used like the mod probe set of tools to like, I can remember the actual command now because it's been so long, but to like unmount and remount a device, like a problem device or whatever. Someone knows what I'm talking about. That's right. I'm not on my own here, I think. But yeah, so that was that to me is an interesting feature. If you could very easily just go through and start and stop a device, or because like if let's say let's say you attach it to a VM, and then when you release it from that VM, sometimes it doesn't reassociate itself with the host operating system. So that would be nice to be able to do.
I've had USB sticks that done that.
I don't imagine that this is exclusive to Arch. I assume that BB Switch and Optimus Manager Qt, I mean, Nate, maybe that's something that's in Opensuse. I don't know.
Well, I'm not necessarily saying for Opensuse. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
yeah,
sure.
Right?
Yeah. Sure you are.
Just gonna have a look to see if it's in my repo, and if it isn't, I'm gonna make a package request for that.
What is it called?
Optimus
BB Switch?
BB Switch is
BB
the
Switch, I know is in the repo.
yeah, that BB Switch is what's actually doing the switching between Intel and NVIDIA. And then this tray utility, the UI is called Optimus Manager QT.
I got BB Switch as the driver, Bumblebee for the.
So I'm pretty sure that
No,
BB Switch,
GOI.
I'm pretty sure BB Switch has a command line as well.
Yeah, BB Switch does have a command line. It's
Spelling.
maybe not then. No, try Bumblebee. I think it's Bumblebee.
No, I don't think it's Bumblebee because I have the NVIDIA. You think it's Bumblebee? It could be. No, I don't think so. Well, anyway, I made a video, if you're interested in this in terms of the steps you take. Again, I'm not an expert on this part. I've struggled with it because I don't have an expertise in this particular area. It was just so refreshing to me to find a post that just absolutely nailed the problem I was having and gave me a solution that works perfectly. So there you go. And I love cinnamon. So, and I
like cinnamon too.
Very underappreciated in my book. Cheesy Man says that
people.
What's that?
Sorry, I've got a kernel upgrade. 5.4.15.
Cheesy Man says Manjaro says minimal additions for the bloated packages. I agree with that, but it's the theming in a lot of cases. So this is probably a dumb complaint, but Kvantum for theming drives me absolutely insane. And I just can never get it to look right. And it's always in my way. And it's also annoying that it's a separate thing from theming the underlying desktop environment. And it just, I just don't enjoy using it. And every edition of Manjaro uses Kvantum. And it's one of the reasons that Manjaro sometimes drives me nuts. So, which is a shame. It's such a small thing and maybe not a substantial enough reason to not use a distro, but man, it bugs me. So can't help it. Hey, Skybear, good to see you. Rose, I think I said hello, but if not, Larry,
He thought the stream was going to end. No, it's just somebody else leaving, Rose.
All right. I've mentioned it a couple times, but we're in Discord on Big Daddy Linux. If you'd like, bigdaddylinux.com/Discord. And that'll take you there. Scroll down, and we're under live stream.
Oh, please do join us.
Yeah.
We don't bite hard.
It's a friendly crew. Okay. The other thing I wanted to look at was, and I've made some videos on this as well, is Manjaro is coming up on their 19.0 release. And so they've got a KDE Plasma, GNOME, and an XFCE preview version out for each of these. And the majority of the changes have to do with theming, at least on the Plasma side. It's very pretty. So it's this Breath 2 theme. I'll jump in. You can take a look at it. It is a dark theme, but it's grayish dark. Instead of being stark, like you just saw Plata in all the Solus releases, and it's very dark, right? I mean, it's blacked out dark. Whereas in here, it's much more subdued. It's still dark, but it's more of a gray dark than a stark absolute black dark. So I think you'll see what I mean here. Oh, that's fun. So if you look at, I think, you know what, I probably changed it from being dark because I'm that way. Let me set it back. Well, maybe yeah, that looks like.
Now, Eric, you talk about how you like light themes. You like The Last Holdout.
I am. It's true.
Yeah.
Some more light themes. Light themes are
So
cool.
I think there might be one other. I think that likes light themes.
Who would that be?
I don't know. I heard someone else, like another one of those podcaster types like yourself, talked about that.
Go.
I hate those
I
guys.
like themes. I use light themes all the time. Just build more distros with the dark theme.
I just think it's fashionable, maybe, if nothing else. But I do see people say that they get relief from using dark themes, and I don't begrudge them for using it. I certainly use light themes because they don't give me eye fatigue. But if it bothered you, then I'm glad it's there as an option. I mean, dark themes to even be a thing means that they were missing for such a long time, right? That it was difficult to do. So, but yeah, this is nice because this is dark, but it's layered dark. It's lighter dark. It's like a charcoal instead of a flat black dark.
Yeah, I do say I like the charcoal look better, I think, now. I used to go darker than that, but now I kind of gone like the Breeze dark theme, how it's kind of charcoaly as opposed to totally black.
Yeah,
I prefer that. Actually.
Yeah, I also think that's exactly a good point, that it has to be the right dark theme. Not every dark theme is good. Correct.
So years ago, before dark theme was a thing, I actually created my own, like back in the KDE3 days. I modified, not so much a dark theme, but to get rid of a lot of the light colors, because even 20 years ago, golly, that long already, almost 20 years ago, I had a problem with light themes even at that time. So I would have to like darken the widgets or the colors and remove that white. So it wasn't, I think a good dark theme didn't really come around until in the last probably 5 years or so, I would say, with the Breeze dark.
Yeah, and if we compare that, let's see what Breeze dark.
Although I do like the Manjaro dark, although it's a little too cyan for my liking.
Well, they've got all kinds in here. This is neat. I don't think have you seen these Krita themes before?
I have.
Okay.
Some of them, not all of those. The Krita Blender, no, I haven't seen that one actually. I do like Krita Darker. That's a nice theme. Krita Dark is good. It's all right,
I was not aware of these.
I still think Breeze Dark.
It's like a
Breeze
muddier,
Dark with the
kind of like a.
Well,
like
yeah. Go ahead.
No.
I say the Krita Darker and the Breeze Dark are pretty close, I would say.
They are. Well, yeah, this is actually very appealing. I do not mind this, and I think for me it really comes down to that contrast. The stark contrast of white text on black background is what gives me that streaking, like burn-in thing with my eyes. This is not going to do that because there's less contrast. This is actually I'm actually impressed by this. I really like this. This might be one of the first dark themes I actually like.
See, I think the perfect dark theme for you, Eric, then is all black with like amber colors. The the terminals of old. Like a good like VT100 terminal amber screen. I'm sure you would love that.
Did lose like ever.
I'm kidding.
That is very pleasant, I have to say. All right. So if I look back at the post, most of this, like I said, it's the Breath 2, it's icon theme, console, color scheme, Yaquake scheme, Plasma 5 theme, splash animation, and there is a really nice splash animation. I don't know if you probably didn't see that. Let me switch back. It's a little thing, but it's one of those fit and finish, polish kind of things.
There is some screen sharing.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry for that. I'm just going to start using my laptop. I don't know what it is with my desktop. Something's not working right, but hopefully you can see this splash screen. Oh, yeah, there you go. So, hey, little thing. Is it screen tearing specifically on the virtual machine? I think that's probably where it's having the problem. Oh, you know what it is? Oh, you dirty
Wayland?
dog. Nope. I just remembered exactly what it is. I forgot to set the NVIDIA setting. Bet you that's what it is. Yep.
What's the NVIDIA setting?
Full composite.
I don't have one of them.
Yeah, turn off.
One of
Yeah.
them fancy NVIDIA cards. I go with the working man AMD.
Yeah, so
I'm
it's
still on
this.
Intel.
If you go under NVIDIA settings, X server display configuration, you have to go to advanced, and then there's an option for forceful composition pipeline, and that will probably fix the screen tearing. And we can check real quick. Nally, you can tell me if it tears again when I do the same thing.
Do you have to save that to your X file?
You do, and it's not a big
There's
deal.
still a bit of tearing.
Okay. There's also one more
Yeah,
setting
it's
that's...
like bleed through from a different
I can't
desktop
get it to
trying to
save
come through
it.
the back.
There's another setting someone was telling me about called flip.
Allow flipping.
Something. Yeah.
It's under the OpenGL settings. That's what I usually have to check for it to.
Where do you
uncheck
save
or
the
check,
file to?
Rocco?
Uncheck.
How do you... Oh, you have to come down and save it.
Well, where does it save it to? Where do you pick it to save?
You say save, and then it asks you where.
Yeah, where do I want to put it?
I've heard people... I mean, I think you can... Will it read? Will it automatically read? It's a good... I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. Rocco, do you know the answer to that?
I usually open that settings, and I usually open it as root, and then save it in the etsy.x11 folder.
Okay.
That's what I thought,
Yeah,
because that's why I won't let me save it.
pnxl.com
It's not
file.
open as root.
Yeah. That's it, Ali. You got it.
Oh, you're back to a Dalek again, whoever that is.
It's me. Of course it's me.
Yeah, it's you. Exterminate!
Yeah, that did get rid of your screen tearing, though. Now your voice is cutting out, but at least you don't have screen tearing.
No, he's got voice tearing.
And voice tends to the same thing.
You can't win.
You can't win. You can't now.
That is an issue with Discord.
No, it's not a Discord thing.
So you guys were
Sounds
saying,
kind of cool.
you guys are suggesting putting the NVIDIA config or whatever in Etsy X11?
Yep.
So I think
That's what I
the,
usually do.
Yeah, the new way of doing that is actually in the...
Xxl.com.
It's actually in user share x11 xorg.conf.d, and then you can name it 50-NVIDIA. Because in some cases, if you switch like GPUs or something, or switching to like Intel, or maybe switching to AMD or some, any number of reasons you might want to do that. You want to have more than just one unified X11 config.
User where?
User share x11 xorg.conf.d. Then name something in there. Name the file in there with a number and name.
All right, I'm giving up on Solus for the night. I have tried everything I can possibly try. I have re-downloaded it, downloaded the torrent, downloaded the ISO, redid the USB, redid the USB on different USBs, and every single time it hangs on the examining local storage. So, yeah, I'm done for the night.
I have a laptop like that where because the system then just refuses to work. It's just
Which way are you doing, Plasma?
Yeah, the plasma one.
Check 1 2. How about now? How does this sound now? Check, check, check. All right. I think I might be back. Well, and the problem is now that it's echoing. It comes through my desktop. So OBS gets stupid. Something's happening. Well, all right. Well, folks, I apologize, but it seems like my stream has gone crazy again. I'm going to stop streaming one more time and come back in. That fixed it last time for about an hour. So if you can still hear me, I will be...
You just you throw your laptop against a wall. I swear. Your computer gets thrown across the room.
So frustrating. But I think it's working again.
I can't go through some space.
What I missed.
I've got about 5 kernels installed. Let's remove a couple.
Oh, now it doesn't see my webcam.
Now it says camera paused.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours, Eric.
Oh,
there are times, it's like it tells you should just be giving up,
Yeah, okay. Well, hopefully you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
I can see me. Oh my goodness! I have the feeling that if I try to unplug and replug my camera, it's gonna. Hey, you know what? Why not? We've done everything else.
You might as well do it, dude.
Here we go.
Run with it.
Let's see what this does. Ready?
Oh, wait a minute.
Hey!
Wow. It actually worked.
Wow, the stream dropped down to 144p.
It does, actually.
Oh, God.
It's alright. We'll just put it on auto. Back to 1080. Job done. Oh, there we go.
So I took a nice screenshot of the stream being frozen.
Just think, Eric. What doesn't kill us makes it stronger.
Right? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, let's see. Must be the curse of Big Daddy Linux. Things not working. Rose, it could be.
Maybe I should leave.
It could be.
Well, you can blame Peter because he said you started out just like my Monday stream used to. So blame Peter.
I think Rocco brings a little level of clash to the group, though.
That's true. He does. He does.
I said what kind of class, though?
But it might be best if I just bow out. So this.
Well, hang on. I'm gonna start the stream one more time, and if it doesn't come back to full res, then
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
Actually, I
it'll
just had
find
a
out, dude.
setting. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I changed
Yeah,
it.
I
It's
had to
fine.
manually change it.
Oh, it looks terrible to me.
So I'm
It's not
taking
the
a look
resolution that's causing that.
Yeah.
Wow, Adam. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
What a guy!
Oh.
What a guy!
It's because Adam's on Windows. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Got
Hey,
it.
you know.
Oh, Adam.
I'd expect that from Nate, but not from Adam.
Oh, Adam.
Oh, I expected it from
Whoa, whoa.
Oh, Nate's a good guy.
Oh, it's using the wrong mic.
Adam's
It's using
a
the
better
webcam
guy.
mic.
We are all guys.
Nope. That. All right. I'm going to stop the stream. There's an echo. I'm going to stop the stream one more time, and if it doesn't come back and work, then we're done. And I apologize. I would like to look at Manjaro, but hang on one second. All right. No, it's still echoing. Still echoing.
You killed OBS.
Nope, it should be fixed.
There we go.
5 seconds. All right. Token, I know, man. Trust me, if you feel that way, you can't imagine this. It's comical. Every time I stream, there cannot be a trouble-free stream for me. I swear it's this desktop, because when I stream from my laptop, I don't have these issues, so it is what it is.
It's okay. Good.
We're back. I'm going to plow through a couple of the Manjaros and see if we can make it through. And hopefully we can. All right. So we were looking at the KDE. We saw the Breath 2 themes, which I think may be the nicest dark themes I've ever seen. They're saying some blurring effects not working in VirtualBox right now, but I mean, it all seemed to look good for me. I do want to try that on hardware. I haven't had a chance yet, but I will. They added some color schemes for Kate, which, okay. I don't know if you noticed, but they also are using the simple menu. And that's something that Plasma is just doing across the board now. I keep seeing that more and more. We saw it in Farron last week, where he's using the simple menu. His implementation is with the categories on the left-hand side instead of the right-hand side. So he made some changes to that. But I'm pretty sure I've also seen that KDE themselves are looking at simple menu as an option instead of kickoff, because kickoff is apparently accessibility for people with poor eyesight. Kickoff is a nightmare because of all those categorizations and like how you have to click through and there's all these layers. So I can imagine that that's the case. I don't know, but yeah. So from what we saw there on Plasma, yeah, I mean, I think they did a really nice job. And then on GNOME, the big thing there is a layout switcher. And we were talking about that last night on Biddle about how layout switchers really just make it so much easier as a starting point for people to just look at a thumbnail and then click on it and say, yeah, I want that. So let's take a look at that real quick.
I think it would have been a nice touch had they added actual screenshots, maybe,
Rather than the outline, yeah.
rather than a drawing. Yeah.
I agree. I think maybe the drawing just gives you it gives them the flexibility to maybe tweak things without it. Because sometimes a screenshot, if it's not exact, I don't know. It's a fair point. So I've already changed the theme here, but when you log in, you get this layouts manager as an option now. And the stock is Manjaro, which looks a lot like what they've done in Solus as well. So it's dash the dock, and so you can click through these, and Classic was the one I was just on. And Classic's giving you the arc menu with dash to panel. And then there's a modern layout, which is going to give you, I don't know if this is dash to dock, but just on the bottom. So it's essentially the Manjaro one just flipped down. And then GNOME is going to be where you don't see it until you hit activities. But that's a nice little, again, just like with Farron and Zorin and others that give you, Mate tweaks, that type of thing, where you can pick a desktop and start from there. Maybe I like this Classic, but then I can also do some tweaking and change the panel settings or change the menu settings, that type of stuff. But it's an excellent starting point for getting me started on how I want the initial layout to be. And so if we look back, they're also talking about the settings that are there. So if we go back to,
I hate to interrupt, but I'm dropping.
That's fine. Thank you for
Bye, Rocco.
Bye, Rocco.
Okay, Rocco.
So they also have a couple other tweaks here for you can have dynamic wallpapers, get to the tweak tool, online accounts, and then whether or not you want the Manjaro branding, using a Wayland session, the desktop icon, system tray. So there's some more granular controls here as well, which is nice. We talked about Farron doing that with some of the plasma settings, being able to pull those out and make them simpler to access by having them laid out like this instead of having to go to the actual settings page. So that's nice. Oh my, there we are. Okay. Common apps. There's that Quantum again. Lucky me. Linux 5.5 and the Arc menu and dash to dock integration. So there you go. I think Manjaro 19 is really shaping up. I mean, it looks like a continuation of the nice work that they've done, and I have every reason to believe that it's going to be an excellent release. It's a little polarizing for me. Like I said, I'm enjoying Endeavour simply because it's simpler, it's easier, it's cleaner. It doesn't have all the Manjaro theming and all of that. But having seen that Plasma theme, the Breath 2 theme, I may give that a shot. So that's really what I wanted to go through tonight on the stream. I don't know if you guys in the Discord, if you had any other thoughts for us this evening. Steve, what are you doing? Have you tried Solus at all yet?
Yeah, I got it installed, and it looks very.
Which one did you install?
I installed Plasma.
Okay.
And it looks really nice. I like the wallpaper. It's the forested scene. I like the gray. I like the theming. But I guess it is kind of like vanilla GNOME. After being in Farron for 2 weeks, I'm kind of not lost, but I mean, like this, a lot of the settings are the same, but we had choices of the different menus. Well, he had 5. He had 2 extra. I'm not a fan of like all 3 of these. Although I don't mind the application dashboard. But it's kind of like gnomish. I don't know. But no, it installed for me really nice. Had no issues. And I don't know. I'll play with it for the week, but I don't. You know, it's. I don't know what I was expecting, if it would be any different with Solus, what they were going to throw into it. I'm not sure what they did outside of the theming. I think it's just pretty much vanilla GNOME.
Gotcha. Yeah, and it's like if you look at the release notes.
I don't mean GNOME, I'm sorry, Plasma.
Oh, right. I mean, if you look at the release notes, it's mainly that they didn't really change too much on the desktop environments, really. Mr. Nate, what are you up to this evening?
Well, I pretty much was very unproductive this afternoon. I think I told you earlier. So not a whole lot right now. I'm actually admiring your stick-to-itiveness through this stream, and you're inspiring me that maybe I should. Maybe not. Maybe it's a bad idea if I even try. But I think I'd like to at least try once or twice this live stream thing you're doing. I really like it. It's kind of fun. It's like you get the. It's like you get the band back, we all hang out in Biddle, and then they all kind of hang out again. Kind of a little bit smaller group, like 26 are watching now. It looks like, and it seems, I don't know, it seems like a fun thing. I did order an HDMI capture device, so I'd like to go through like an installation process of Opensuse, because people always complain, oh, the installer is terrible or something like that, which I mean, you're entitled to your wrong opinion, but maybe to demonstrate that for people.
Yeah. How would you plan on capturing that, Nate? Because that's the one issue. I mean, I was like really glad that I found the NDI plugins, which work really nice. But now, like, say I want to do with OBS, which I installed on Solus. It was in their software center, but there's no NDI plugin for Solus, and I do have a capture card. But when I capture it in OBS, I miss like a strip on the right hand side and like the whole panel at the bottom. And even if I hit click on transform fill screen or whatever, it's just not capturing right.
Well, I don't know. I don't have the device yet. It's supposed to be Linux friendly. It was a little more expensive than the others, which that seems to be how it goes. You pay premium for the Linux friendly stuff, it seems. And I'll find out. I'm gonna do it through OBS. It'll be a laptop. I'll set it up adjacent my streaming machine, and then we'll see how it goes.
Because I went with, I forget the name of it right now. I haven't used it for a while. But what's his name? The game guy that Jill is on with. He did a video he recommended.
Ven.
Yeah, and he seemed to capture fine, and I don't know if I'm just doing something wrong. But yeah, because I would like to take it to a beginning process of installation or something if I could, but I'm not sure if it captures it that way.
Yeah, I'll find out. I'm also going to do some I'd like to do some retro gaming on it too as well. So I think that'll be fun. I bought an adapter for that as well.
I hadn't done well with NDI previously, but I tried it tonight and it did work. But I ended up using No Machine just to connect remotely. But yeah, it does work. I saw a little bit of. I don't know if you've seen, Steve. I did see some latency. There was just a little bit of latency between the what it was happening on the screen, and it was maybe a second. It wasn't a lot, but
yeah, no, it's pretty quick. I mean, it depended on if you're it's quicker when you do when both are on the Ethernet. If it's on Wi-Fi, there is a little bit more of a delay.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Okay. Well, I think that's all I have for tonight. I don't know if you guys have anything else, but I think I'm going to go ahead and drop the stream now. Thanks everybody for joining. I really appreciate it. Sorry for the the inevitable inevitable for me at least, technical issues. There's something with this system, and I don't know. I think it's because I have my my analog hookup for my mic is seen as a sound card. I've got the internal sound card, and then I've also got, I can't get front panel audio working on here, so I've also got a little USB sound card. So I've got 3 sound cards, and I think that's kind of what, it just gets a little crazy, like it doesn't know what to do. So I'm going to try to work on that, see if that fixes anything, but otherwise, it's always a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys stopping in, and especially on in chat and then on Discord as well. So thanks for joining. Thanks for giving me all your feedback and participating, and we'll see you again soon.
All right. Thanks for having a Sunday night stream.
Thank you for the stream, yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, thank you.